Hi, I'm Peter J. Ray. Welcome to Adventures in History. Today's topic is Dearest Mother, Love Ruthie. Ruth Smallshaw Ray's Letters to Her Mother, 1951, Part 62. 1560 Luxor Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, May 1st, 1951. Dear Mother, Dad, and Bud, Happy May Day to you. This morning at school we each found a May basket of flowers hanging on our classroom door. The first grade had made them. I was sorry to hear in your letter yesterday that I'd been disappointing you in the letter writing. To tell you the truth, I hadn't realized it at all. We've almost lost track of time here. John was home last week studying and wrote his first final exam Friday night. I left Friday noon for Cincinnati with Miss Bender and Carlotta, the student from Venezuela. I told you, hadn't I, that Miss Bender's expenses were paid to fly to Venezuela last summer to tutor a little deaf girl, and also interest them in a program for the deaf like one here. So this is the girl sent here to study for a year and go back to start the preschool. Miss Bender has taken Spanish all year, so is quite fluent. I managed to pick up a couple of phrases. Miss Paxson made the fourth, and we had an interesting trip, but of course missed John. We stayed at the Golden Lamb Hotel in Lebanon, Ohio, on the way down, the oldest hotel in Ohio, but fixed up with bright paint and antiques to be quite attractive. It was so hot traveling, and in Cincinnati too. The kiddies running around in sunsuits, and the trees and foliage and flowers everywhere, a southern heat. It's warm in Cleveland too, and our tulips are about to burst into bloom. We also visited the first Ohio settlement, an old Moravian village built in 1772. Also went to a Danish smorgasbord. John felt that he did poorly in his first night exam. Anne was disappointed that I wasn't here, since we'd planned to wait together for the fellows. They have 13 subjects to write exams in, and some were taken 4 years ago, so a lot to review and memorize too. I waited for him last night, and another wife was waiting after class too. It must be similar to when a man is waiting for his wife to have a baby. The fellows kept coming out of the exam room, some cheerful, some gloomy, and all discussing points of law in the questions. John said he felt better about last night. He'd felt gloomy all weekend, and I didn't get back until Sunday, 6 p.m. We went to the magnificent Yankee, excellent, because he was sick of studying. Tomorrow's the last night of exams until June, so wish us luck. Only 27 more school days till holidays for me. Good night. John's dad just phoned to find out how John's exams were. Love, John and Ruth. 1560 Luxor Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, May 13th, 1951. Dearest Mother, Happy Mother's Day, dear. It's such a beautiful day here, too, so certainly hope you have a nice one. We went to church, and then John and Alex played golf, while Vera and I watched television. Next time, John suggested we go, too, and take the baby along. Now John is listening to the ball game, and I'm sitting in the sun. Our tulips are in beautiful blooms of white, pink, lilac, and yellow. Yesterday, Miss Bender and I drove out to two of our pupils' homes, a farm in Middlefield, Ohio. How nice to live on a farm here. Rolling country, trees and brooks and waterfalls and millions of flowers, too. Susie fell in the brook, to her humiliation. Television they have, too, so a modern aspect. We also visited another of Miss Bender's pupils' home, an Amish farm. I'd met them before. The men wear beards and women white caps, and little girls black bonnets, black stockings, and they drive buggies. Very nice families, though. John was at class. He'll soon have to start reviewing again for the bar exam, but we're awaiting word about passing the comprehensives. We saw a good movie last night, The Mudlark, regarding Queen Victoria. John's classes now run to 10:30 p.m., so very late when he gets home. I have a teacher's luncheon Wednesday and teacher's picnic Thursday, so hope it's still beautiful. So glad to hear you might be seeing Auntie in June. Nice for you both. I was quite shocked about the Haytons. When I babysat for them, I thought they were such an ideal couple, and he seemed such a thoughtful father and went to church with them. Really so unfortunate. I will write again soon, my dear, and look for a letter from you. How's the driving? Still enjoying the car? Love, John and Ruth. 1560 Luxor Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, May 9th, 1951. Dearest Mother, Happy Mother's Day, dear, and I hope the wee parcel arrives okay and you like it. I valued it at $3 in case they charge duty, and probably should have made it only $2. I hope you have the same Mother's Day as here. It's confusing when we celebrate things on different days. I planned this to be a long letter, and here I am at school with no paper, but we'll write more tomorrow. We've been having a busy time again. Took some time for recreation after John's exams, although he still has classes. Now from 6 o'clock to 10:30, so 11 o'clock when he gets home. Poor guy. I played canasta at school last Friday evening. The mothers group sponsored it to buy a group hearing aid. I won a gardenia corsage. Played again Saturday afternoon with the alumni group of the School of Education of the university. While I was away, John met some of his relations who were in town. Invited them up to see our place. The beds not made, dishes not done, as I dashed away after we finished shopping. Saturday evening we went to Akron, Joan's birthday. John's is May 19th and Bonnie's the 30th. Sunday we got to the church door and John wouldn't go in because we were late. We went to a co-op picnic. Tuesday took my kiddies to the park and art museum last night, PTA meeting also, a film on Banff. We saw a movie too, Sunday evening, Call Me Mister with Betty Grable. Only 21 days of school, good. Hope you have a nice day and year, dear, and remember how much we love you. Love, John and Ruth. 1560 Luxor Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, May 16th, 1951. Dear Mother and Bud, just received your letter and had to drop a note of assurance, I hope, although I have an exam in a few hours that I haven't yet studied for. I do hope that Bud's knee is all right and that you are all feeling better about the car accident. My dear understanding husband just called, and when I told him that I felt worse about Bud's accident than ours, he just said we should be so grateful Bud wasn't hurt worse. I was so hoping that nothing would happen, for you've been so enthusiastic about the car, and I hope you'd get so much enjoyment from it. You still will. As John said, you can always get the car fixed, and if it's properly covered by insurance, it'll all soon be okay. Sometimes we don't know our inner strength until it's tested. As you know, I wasn't covered, so we took that loss, but still are okay. They'll fix the car as good as new, I'm sure. You never know that ours was so smashed. And Bud's okay, most important. Don't be too hard on them, Daddy, or feel too badly. I don't think I'll ever get over the feeling of Daddy's wrath when I stepped on the potato garden. We should enjoy, but not be a slave to material possessions. I was so lucky, for I never felt too badly about our car accident. Hope you could wear the blouse okay. 2 mothers said I gave them the best Mother's Day present. I taught their kiddies to say, I love you, Mother. And 1 mother said she cried and had to reassure Jimmy that he hadn't done anything wrong. We have so much to be grateful for. I love you so much. God bless you. Dale is here. Dan is in the Air Force. Love, John and Ruth. 1560 Luxor Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, May 25th, 1951. Dearest Mother, Daddy, and Bud. Hey, did I ever marry a wonderful man? He's not only sweet and kind and good, but he's going to graduate cum laude with honors. I'm so thrilled. We were so glad that he passed, and then to discover that he's in the top 10% of his class was really great. 151 took the exams and about 20 failed. 13 got honors. He certainly deserved it. Busy, busy, busy is what we've been. It certainly will be nice when it lets up, but we've been enjoying ourselves too. We certainly were relieved to hear that Bud will be okay and that the car will be as good as new. It's so good that the car was well covered with insurance. John only had a $100 deductible, so had to fork out the first $100 on the $475 bill, plus of course all my bills. Still, we're lucky and so glad you're coming through it all okay. John's mother phoned us last Friday the 18th and invited us to Sandusky for John's birthday weekend. And what a nice time we had. We ate all weekend and had such a good time talking, playing bridge, and driving. The country is so lovely in spring. The picture of Carol was on the front page of the newspaper. Cute. John's mother wants you to visit them when you come, and the family has also invited you to Marion, Ohio, when you come too. Which brings me to the main purpose of writing, when I have my last final exam tomorrow. John went out golfing with Alex so I could get to study. The closer we get to our graduations, the more I would like to have you come. For a while it didn't seem so important, but we don't graduate every day, and it would be nice to have you with us. Now I may have spoiled any possible plans earlier when I wrote, and we still don't know what would be best. John and I have talked it over, and he suggested we tell you the whole situation and let you decide. It may already be too late to change plans because I know that it's not easy to take your holidays when you want, and that may have decided it. This is the schedule of events. Friday, June 8th, my teaching school closes. 5:30 p.m., John's family are taking Anne, Wayne, John, and I to dinner. 8 o'clock p.m., John's graduation cum laude. 9 o'clock p.m. and later, my graduation formal. Bud and Doris could go on my old student ticket. Saturday, 9:30 a.m., John's cousin is being married in Oberlin. You'd enjoy seeing where John went to college. 10 o'clock, a reception, 12:15. My senior class luncheon. If we come back to Cleveland, no school for John that day. Sunday, John's at school all day. 4 o'clock, my baccalaureate sermon in Severance Hall. 5:30, open house of President of University's home, if we want to go. Monday, the 125th anniversary of Western Reserve University. 2 o'clock celebration, Senator Kefauver. Wednesday morning, my graduation. John will go to work after. Afternoon, the outdoor theater at Keene Park. Since there are all those things in that week that you might enjoy, and since, if you drive down and back, you won't have much more than a week here, that might be a very good time to come. John will be at work and school quite a lot of the time, as I've said. Well, there are a few alternatives. 1. If you can plan your holidays to arrive here, say June 7th or 8th, and stay the week or 10 days, allowing time to drive back and be here for both our graduations. 2. Mother come down alone on the 7th or 8th for both our graduations, staying over with us until John's bar exams are over, June 26th, 27th, and 28th. When Bud, Daddy, and Doris could come down and we'd all have a little free time together for the week, or 10 days, and Mother could go back with them. The drawback to that would be Auntie being in Regina on the 24th. I'm really sorry that it's working out this way, but we didn't know how it would be, and only now learning how things are shaping up. So is there any chance that any or all of you can come, or would it be better later in the summer? I would like you to be here to see John and I graduate, Mother. Last week was really a busy one. I had a test one night, went out with a group of teachers to one teacher's home out in Berea, Ohio. Another of John's college buddies and his wife, whom I've met, are moving from New York to Berea in July, so we're getting quite a little gang of Oberlinians. One night I started to remodel my wedding gown to wear to John's fraternity dance last night. I got into quite a mess and was talking to John's mother on long distance and cooking supper and washing dishes all at once, it seemed. Well, I took out the net yoke and sleeves and 2 sections of the train, but got stuck. So Saturday morning took it to Vera's and she helped me with it all afternoon. Came home and cooked a fried chicken dinner. We had Ann and Wayne Duff here, and then Ann and I sewed the last 2 seams, and I wore it last night. John said it looked like $1 million, and I'm so glad to be getting some good out of it. It is a shame to put a beautiful $110 wedding dress away to rot, and I can wear it to my graduation formal too. And I hope many more summer dances in years to come. Well, I must get studying. Went to a very nice church service this morning. I wore my yellow carnations and purple iris corsage again this morning. The more I think of it, the more I think how nice it would be to have you here for graduations, dear. Hope that you can forgive me for not being more specific sooner, and let me know what you decide. It's a great, big, wide, wonderful world, and aren't you proud of John? Love, Ruth. P.S. Later on. I'd like the clipping of Carol back. R.R. Maybe we could inspire Bud and Doris to come here and work and go to night school for the next 4 years too. We've never regretted it. R.R. 1560 Luxor Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, May 30th, 1951. Dearest family, boy, am I on top of the world. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I finished my last final exam Monday night. The most wonderful part of a tough schedule is coming to the end of it. Just 1 more month for John. I cajoled him into going to the park for a picnic. Today is Memorial Day. So many people there, so we ate and came home to the solitude of our own lawn. I've got a little sunburn already. John's mother and dad sent us each a check for $25, our graduation presents. Nice. I'm still elated, too, over how well my wedding dress turned into a formal. I'd have felt badly if it hadn't. It seems rather strange not to have to dash out to evening classes, and no doubt it will be even more strange when school lets out too next week. I hope I didn't upset any of your plans by suggesting that you come to our graduations after all, but suddenly it seemed feasible when it hadn't at all, when I thought of John being in school practically every night. Well, in any case, you'll know best, and it'll be nice to see you whenever you can make it. Connie sent me this clipping of Marshall's wedding. It sounds nice, doesn't it? I certainly hope he'll be happy. I'd like it back. Had a nice letter from Bonnie, and thanks for sending the scarf. She seemed quite thrilled with it. Did you go to Doreen's wedding and give her the bedspread? Bonnie says that Joanne will be living in Winnipeg. Also, Pat, Becky, and Diana are each expecting their 3rd baby. John goes to school tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, graduates Friday and off Saturday, again Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. It'll be so nice to see him in July. Right. Love you, Red. Now we have two letters from based on the original publication, and the first letter is from Tessa Dolina, former secretary of Restless Educational Center in Quezon City, Philippines. Dear editor, my warmest greetings to you and your family. I just finished reading SFMC number 32, and as always, there were so many lines from your mom's letters that seemed to be very meaningful to me. Based on my own observations, Ruth writes with a quite detailed manner that when one reads her letters, you can easily visualize the scenes presented and can easily relate to it. It is just like writing in one's diary. As for me, letter writing is like a catharsis, most especially when you correspond to someone who is quite close to you, and you are able to express freely what is in your mind and heart. As can be gleaned from Ruth's letters, she is enjoying her new status very much. She finds meaning in everything that she does, presumably drawing so much inspiration from John. I believe that at this point in her life, now she can look back and say that she has had a very rewarding, wonderful, happy, and satisfying life in the past. It is possible that she might have attained the highest peak, which is self-actualization, from the Maslow theory. Here are some excerpts from her letters which are worth reading again, for me, I guess, and which made me reflect and ponder on similarities in my life now. May I let you know that I always gain a lot of insights reading her letters. I always try to have a positive outlook in life, and this is the reason why I always write positive reactions and critiques. But there are also instances wherein I tend to get negative feedback, and I try not to dwell on it so much. At any rate, I am learning very much, and thanks to you for giving me the opportunity to do so. It's page 340. It's been so nice living with John's even temper and really sweet disposition. He's so calm and sincere that the world would be a better place if more people were like him. About television, John doesn't seem too interested, says he gets more enjoyment from reading and would rather see a good movie. I've thought about it a lot lately and have come to the conclusion that a great deal of ambition stems from unhappiness and a sense of inferiority. I've started reading again. For so long now I've had so much in the way of assignments for school and no time for anything outside, and find that I've been literally starved for just books. John enjoys reading so much and says he'd prefer not getting a television and to catch up on our reading when we graduate. When you're single, there's an element of excitement and interest in going bowling or to movies that just isn't there when you go out with just friends. So the choice remains to stay home and be somewhat contented, but with a vague, lonesome feeling, or initiate an interest in outside things and be somewhat bored. Boy, am I on top of the world. It's a beautiful sunny day, and I just finished my last final Monday night. The most wonderful part of a tough schedule is coming to the end of it. Congratulations for coming out with this splendid idea, compiling letters of your mom. And until your next issue, I remain sincerely yours, Tessa J. Dolina. And the other comment is from John S. Ray, the husband of the author, Ruth Smallshaw Ray. Dear Editor, I enjoyed reading SFMC number 32. I had forgotten how much entertaining we used to do on Luxor Road. Got a kick out of Red's comment that blonde wood never looks dusty. I remember the Easter eggs my mother used to make. Enjoyed sharing with Red, a little piece at a time. Red was so domestic. Amazing how Red and I were able to do so many things while finishing college and law school studies. Young and strong and healthy most of the time. So much energy required, and we both had it. I recall that the nights of study and classes seemed endless as we finished law school and prepared for the bar exam. But we did it. The first year of our marriage was the last year of law school. I doubt very much that I would have graduated with honors had we not been married. Love, Dad. John S. Ray, Cleveland, Ohio. To be continued. Well, that concludes today's presentation. Good luck to you with your efforts in family history. If this interests you, finding, preserving, and sharing old letters, diaries, and photographs, and interviewing elderly relatives while they're alive, you might consider checking out our website at Adventures in History with Peter J. Ray at peterjray.com. So far, we've made 572 history videos in 7 areas: world history, American history, book reviews, poetic tours, Cleveland baseball, family history, and autobiography. You also might consider checking out our podcast, Adventures in History, which you can listen to on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, and Radio Public. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. God bless you. Take care. And I'll see you next time.